Mortgage rates are on the way up and Charlotte home prices are on the way down. What does this mean for our local Charlotte housing market? We're going to cover all this and more on our Charlotte, North Carolina November housing market update, so stay tuned. If you are new to the channel and want to know all there is to know about our local housing market, make sure you click subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll be the first to know about all the changes going on in our backyard. My name is Josh Finigan, team leader with the Finigan Group powered by eXp Realty, and we get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you, either looking to move to the Charlotte area or within the Charlotte area, and guys, I'll tell you, we absolutely love it. So feel free to give us a call, text us, email us, or schedule a Zoom meeting. The link is just below. We'd love to sit down with you, learn a little bit more about what you're looking to accomplish and how we can help. As I mentioned earlier, today we're going to review the most up-to-date information on our Charlotte, North Carolina housing market, give you the most up-to-date data, statistics, and trends that we're seeing. And let's start with one of the biggest ones we've chatted about on this channel, which is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve met again at the very beginning of November, and they reduced rates for the second time in a row, reducing them by 25 basis points. The first reduction was 50 basis points, this one was 25. And they do meet again for their last meeting of 2024 in December, which is expected we're going to see another 25 basis point drop then. And even though the Federal Reserve is reducing their prime rate, we actually saw the mortgage rates increase all the way throughout October. The mortgage rates started at 6.12% at the beginning of October, but ended up around 6.72% at the end of October, which directly affects buyers' affordability. Remember, every 1% change in the mortgage rate affects a buyer's purchasing power by 10%. So this change reduced buyers' purchasing power by 5%. So we saw the Fed rate drop, but the mortgage rate increase. And that's because the mortgage rate is not directly tied to the Federal Reserve's prime rate. It's more closely tied to the 10-year Treasury yield, which really tracks with how the overall economy is doing. And in October, we saw strong signs for our economy, especially with the release of the newest jobs report, which was better than expected. Because of this, we saw mortgage rates rise in October. But what does this mean for us looking to sell a home here in Charlotte? Well, let's look at the numbers. In October, we saw 1,244 people put their home on the market here in Charlotte, which was a 10% decrease from the number of people who put their homes on the market in September, but it was a 3% increase from the numbers we saw this time last year. So the big decrease in the number of new listings hitting the market month over month can really be chalked up to seasonality. We see fewer and fewer homes hit the market as we get to the latter part of the year. And when we look at last year's numbers, it really confirms this when we see similar numbers year over year. In October, we saw the number of active listings remain around 4,030, which was a 3% decrease month over month, but it was a 27% increase from October 2023. So we saw a huge increase in the number of active listings on the market, which is our inventory of homes for sale at any given time. When we look at the year-over-year numbers, which is something we've been chatting about on this channel, we've seen the housing supply increase gradually over the past year. So we did see a slight decrease in the active listings month over month, but we are still much higher than last year. So you have a little bit more competition if you're looking to sell your home this year. Let's take a look at the number of pending sales. In October, we saw 1,068 homes accept an offer, which was a 16% increase in the number of homes that accepted an offer in September. And it was a 23% increase in the number of homes that accepted an offer in October 2023. So we did see a huge boost in the number of pending sales month over month, but we saw that the number of new listings outpaced the number of pending sales yet again, which has been a continuous theme over the past year, which is why we see a lot more active listings on the market. So even though the number of active listings fell, we can chalk that up to fewer people are putting their homes on the market because the number of new listings still outpaced the number of pending sales. In October, the average sales price here in Charlotte was $555,000, which was a 2% decrease from the average sales price in September, but it was a 4% increase in the average sales price in October of 2023. So we did see a slight decrease in the average sales price from September to October. We are still seeing a healthy year-over-year gain. And what that frankly means is there's a little bit more competition that you have to choose from, so buyers have a little bit more power than they have previously. In October, the number of homes that closed was 966 homes, which is actually around the same number that closed in September, but it is a 7% increase from the number of homes that closed in October 2023. So that's the most recent data, but what does this all mean for you home sellers out there? If you are considering selling a home, you want to make sure you pay attention to the fact that there's a little bit more inventory on the market. Yes, we saw the month over month average sales price decrease, but I don't expect this trend to continue. I don't think that we're going to see any huge double-digit year-over-year appreciation anymore, but we do still have a pretty strong seller's market here in Charlotte. But you have a few more homes sitting on the market, and homes are sitting on the market for a little bit longer than they have over the past few years. And one thing you want to keep your eyes on as a home seller is those mortgage rates, because yes, they have increased a little bit and remain at their elevated levels, but the Federal Reserve is reducing their rate. We're going to see another rate reduction most likely in December, so we're going to start seeing that have a downward pressure on our mortgage rate over the next few months. As that mortgage rate decreases, it will put more buyers into the market, which will increase the buyer pool and level out the supply versus demand. What about for you home buyers? If you're considering buying a home, yes, the rates are a little bit higher, but you have a lot more to choose from, especially when you look over the past few years of historically low months of inventory. Homes are sitting on the market for a little bit longer, so you have a little bit more time to think about it before having to make a choice on which home you want to purchase. And you may be able to find it a little bit easier to negotiate for things like closing cost assistance, a favorable closing date, maybe a home warranty, especially if you partner with an aggressive agent that can put you in the best position. But the biggest question of is now a right time for you to buy or sell is different for everyone, and it really depends on what you're looking to accomplish and your family's goals. So if you are considering making a move, whether it be in 9 days or 90 days, or just kind of thinking about it right now, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. So call us, text us, email us. I'd love to sit down with you, learn a little bit more about what you're looking to accomplish, and see if now is a right time for you. If you are curious on what your home's value is, scan this QR code right here, and we will go ahead and put together a updated market analysis for your home so you know exactly where you sit in this housing market. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you around town.